This is TWiT.
So you know what's not cool is, having your face scanned, I guess. So multiple reports came out this morning, including one on ZDNet, that Google employees were offering to scan people's faces on the street for a $5 gift card. I don't know about you, but I'm always up for those Google rewards. So $5 given to me. But there were a couple of stories about this happening. A couple of some anecdotal evidence to go with this report. So in one particular situation, there was a man sitting in a park when somebody walked up and offered $5 for his face. The person said, "I work for Google, and we're collecting data to improve the next generation of facial recognition phone unlocking." So was given a phone in a thick case, model completely undetermined, to take selfies at different angles, purportedly to train the AI, or I guess to get enough data to train the AI. And then they were offered a $5 Amazon or Starbucks card. Now, some folks are pointing this model that is undetermined to being the next coming of the Pixel 4. And we have been talking about how the next Google Pixel 4 is supposed to introduce, some new face unlocking technology to kind of rival what Apple's been doing with its iPhone. And so this kind of aligns with the idea that this is all having to do with data collection for that Face ID. And in fact, there's actually a new screen panel leak for the Pixel 4, which reveals, I guess, is revealing a bunch of sensors in the front, which some are pointing to that being part of the Face ID structure. So it's likely also the Soli sensor that's being used for face unlock that is up there. And, we had talked about Project Soli being used as a way to unlock the next Pixel 4. Now, a lot of folks know Project Soli to be connected to moving your hands in front of the camera, but it looks like this technology could be applied to face unlocking as well. Again, this is all just hearsay until we have an absolute proclamation from Google themselves telling us what it is that is going to be in the Pixel 4. But it is the time of year where we're talking about what's coming up next, where we're sort of diving in to see what's coming around the pipeline. And I guess this checks out around that rumor mill. And just to add to the rumor, there's another leak that says that RAM in the Pixel 4 will be upgraded to 6 gigabytes. Not sure if that has anything to do with face unlock, but given the way that phones have been increasing in RAM and in memory these days, it seems to align with it. I'm wondering what you guys think with this latest rumor mill, because there's been so much coming out of it. And for me, it's been kind of whizzing past me. I'm just sort of waiting to hear what Google says. But is it creating any hype for you guys?
I think that RAM bump is significant if it's true, because the Pixels have actually been they've not been keeping up as much with the bumping up of RAM of recent years, because like the Pixel 3 and the Pixel 3a only have 3 gigabytes of RAM, I think, and most other phones in that category have 4. So them going from 3 to 6 would be a significant update, and I think would help with future-proofing and helping justify the price that the Pixel demands. So I think that would be significant. The Soli sensors excite me if for no other reason than the tease video for Project Soli that we first got years and years ago at this point was of them using their fingers to control music playback. And I just fell in love with that, because the one thing I've missed most in this world since going away from my original iPods is having the little click wheel and being able to control my media discreetly and precisely. So Soli being able to do something like that would just be like a pipe dream for me.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that turns out. So I did some poking around while you were talking, Ara. The original Google Pixel had 4 gigs of RAM. The Pixel 2 had 4 gigs of RAM. The Pixel 3 has 4 gigs of RAM. So them actually finally upgrading is a big deal. The challenge there then becomes, well, are you already behind what other premium phones are doing? Should it be more than that? Because we're seeing a lot more phones coming out around the 8 gig range. And later we'll talk about a phone that's expected to come out next month that's pushing upwards of 12 gigs of RAM, which seems ridiculous, but then at the same time, I'll always take more memory in my devices.
Don't you have a phone? Well, you might not have the 12 gigabyte model. I was going to say, don't you have a phone on your desk that has 12 gigabytes of RAM?
Oh, well, yeah, no, you know what? You're absolutely right.
And do you ever think about it?
No, you're right. Like, I don't even consider like what the gains are of the 12 gigs, other than to say that the OnePlus 7 Pro is a fast phone. You know, do I notice a difference? Would I notice a difference between a 12 gig phone compared to an 8 gig phone? I'm not sure that I would be able to say, oh, this one's definitely faster.
Depends on the operation and the optimization. I will say more RAM probably eats more battery.
Yeah. Probably so. Yeah. But what are you doing with that? Are you multitasking, more powerful apps, whatever the case may be? So that's nice.
Games.
Yes, exactly. Right. So that's the RAM side of this. I think what I find so fascinating about this story, the face scan portion, is that we now have a price, at least we have a price of what $5. Google is willing to pay for your face. Like, this is what your face is worth to us for scanning.
I don't think it's that much. I want to say that 5 is the lowest increment they could get for like regular gift cards. Because let's be real.
Yeah, I know how much money they got.
We get photos of our faces in multiple positions away every single day if you use any sort of selfie app or photo filter in Instagram or whatever.
Yeah.
We give that data away freely. And I'm willing to bet that the reason that Google is willing to pay money is just like, okay, we're going to get standardized data for this, and we're going to be upfront about it. And so that means we need to pay people. This is the lowest denominator for a gift card that makes sense.
Yeah. And notice they're not giving out $5 Google Play gift cards.
I was about to say Starbucks or Amazon, which is like...
Yeah. Which are... You know, you're gonna have a lot more people.
If you're walking up to a person on the street, you can't rely on it being something that is like, oh, Google, I don't know what that is.
Absolutely.
Oh, you can use it to buy a movie on YouTube.
Totally. Yeah. Way more people are going to have an Amazon account or be used to purchasing on Amazon than they are going to have that. Oh, and especially Starbucks.
Way more people want a Frappuccino.
Yeah,
Let's
Starbucks
be real.
and getting coffee.
And a Frappuccino is like $3.80 for a tall.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't want a Starbucks. I would totally take the Amazon, but I don't drink coffee.
Well, then there you go. But their Frappuccinos are really good, just saying. Anyways, I find that interesting that we now have $5 as the price Google's willing to pay for your face. Is $5 worth it from the perspective of, okay, well, what am I giving away when I'm giving you my face to create systems around and everything? I guess that's up to the person. You know, like, is someone going to sit there and read through? I'm sure they give you something to sign. And I'd be really surprised if anyone gets this and goes, I'm really going to read this top to bottom, because that's a lot of work to go through to get $5.
I'm sure it's a pop-up on whatever app they're using to collect this data. It's like, okay, before you onboard somebody, here's the flyer that they have to read through. It's just scroll to the bottom and click accept.
Yes. And everybody does it. Because $5, I can get my coffee paid for right now.
To work. Keep producing. Keep moving.
Yes.